Welcome into KSU Nation, the best K-State and Big 12 podcast out there. I'm Stevie B.
And I have finally come back to YouTube.
We have been gone for a minute here. We've had some stuff going on. There's been no football games. So we decided to take a little bit of a break. But we're going to get into some football stuff today, a little bit of basketball, NFL stuff, all of that. Before we do that, though, Kenny, let her know about the sub button and the join button.
Yes, we have hit our goal, and now we've got a new goal. And the only way we can hit that goal is if we continue to grow our subscriber account. We are trying to reach 5,000 by this time next year. And we can definitely do it. We have a lot of viewers, and not many of you are subscribing, but we have tons of viewers. So we just need you guys to hit the sub button if you haven't done so. Just take 2 seconds to check and see if you are subbed. If you are, thank you very much. If you are not, please do so. Also, we have a join button if you would like to continue to add to your patronage to this channel. We have a members section where we have a lot of different perks that we do. We're just trying to get this channel to grow as much as we possibly can. And so with all that being said, Steve, where do you want to go from here?
I think the most important thing to go to is the Big 12 news. And the biggest news in the Big 12 right now, Kenny, has got to be Travis Hunter winning the Heisman, man. I mean, This was a no-brainer for you and I. I mean, we both called it a long time ago. Great player. And again, another player that K-State beat. K-State's beat a lot of Heisman winners, but you got to feel happy for Travis Hunter in Colorado to get the win here in the Heisman Trophy.
Oh, yeah, this is big stuff for the Big 12. And I know we're kind of late on this reaction here, but I think it still matters to have a little bit of an opinion on this because, people are kind of like unsure of like the Travis Hunter, Ashton Jeanty, like back and forth. I mean, you hear a lot of people on the internet saying like, Ashton Jeanty, it was stolen from him, yada, yada, yada. I honestly don't think it was. I think Ashton Jeanty is an amazing player. But I don't know if you watch Travis Hunter, you would definitely you would be blown away. I know his statistics don't look insane, but if you just watch him play at the highest level in those two positions, I mean, it's just undeniable. So I think the committee made a really good decision here. I think this was the correct decision. Well, it wasn't really the committee. It was like it was a whole bunch of people that voted. So, and I think that the people that voted correctly. I think Ashton Jeanty is going to be a big time running back in the NFL. I think he's an amazing college running back. And yes, he put up some crazy big numbers, but I just think that it's unfortunate for him that you had a guy like Travis Hunter who's basically once in a generation kind of talent come around and do what he did. And what he did was phenomenal. It's undeniable. So props to Travis Hunter. It just makes the Big 12 look really good. And you got to love to see it. I mean, also there was in the rankings that, Shador was like up there as well as Cam Scattaboo had a lot of votes. So, yeah, I think he was like top 5 or something like that in the rankings, and then Shador was like 8.
He was 5th, yeah, and Shador was 8, yeah.
And like the closest SEC player was like not even top 10. So that's pretty hilarious if you're just trying to dunk on the SEC a little bit. But I mean, it's good for the Big 12 to have another Heisman winner out there. So, and I definitely will always say as a K-State fan, Colin Klein got totally robbed. So just saying.
I just want to go over his numbers here really quick because you said they weren't that impressive. I actually think they were. 92 catches, 1,152 yards. So he's probably gonna get 100 catches after the bowl game. 14 touchdowns on offense, and then defensively, he had 4 interceptions this year. 4 interceptions and a forced fumble. So
Right.
he was doing everything for them. The only thing he really wasn't doing was returning punts. So
And kicking. But here's the
kicking
thing.
an extra point. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, okay. So here's the argument, though. The last time a wide receiver won the Heisman, he had over 1,800 receiving yards. Travis Hunter only has 1,100. And then the last time a defensive back got the Heisman, he had, I think it was like 7 or 8 picks, and Travis has only had 4. But I don't care about any of that. Like I don't think that really matters, because what he, like, yes, he was playing both sides of the ball. That's so impressive, and the fact that he was doing it at such a high level, it's undeniable that he deserved it. And yeah, you know what? Ashton Jeanty is still a really good football player. Just because he didn't win the Heisman does not mean that he's not a good football player. What he has accomplished for that school and for his career is not going to go unnoticed. But just props to Travis Hunter, man. He definitely deserved it. He was a baller.
Absolutely. There were 2 other things in the Big 12 that are noteworthy. UCF got a new head coach, an old head coach, Scott Frost, and then West Virginia also hired their old head coach, Rich Rodriguez. I honestly feel like the Scott Frost hire is the better of those 2. I'm not quite sure what they're thinking in Mountaineer Land, but we'll see how each works out. Kenny, what are your thoughts on them hiring their old coaches, going to old K-State way, hiring Bill Snyder back? What do you think about that?
Look, you can't do Bill Snyder better than Bill Snyder. Bill Snyder is like an anomaly, okay? Like, no one's going to be able to do what he did, come back and win another Big 12 championship. I don't think that's going to happen. But it seems to be the case that these fans in these schools are happy with the decision. So, look, as long as the fans are happy, then what do you do as an athletic director or whatever? Like as a program, you want to make a pick that people are going to be happy with, and obviously there must have been some names floating around, and those were the ones that were floating around, and they just went for it. I believe you're correct about the UCF pick being the better of the 2. I think that because he left for Nebraska, if I'm not mistaken, right? He used to play for Nebraska. So he
played
left
quarterback for Nebraska, and then he took his entire staff there when he was
right
signed there to be the new head coach. So
yeah, so he left to go to Nebraska, and then he came back, and or now he's coming back. Yeah, I think this is I don't think he ever really wanted to leave, but he kind of had like the job of his life. It's kind of like if Colin Klein got offered head coach at K-State or something, like he would take it, even if he was having success at another school, he'd be like, well, I gotta go to K-State. I mean, this is where I played quarterback and almost won Heisman. So I don't blame him for doing what he did. But I definitely think UCF needs both schools needed a change, and we'll see if West Virginia made the correct choice here. It's going to be a toss up. Rich Rodriguez, man, he didn't do very well in Michigan, but we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. He's done well in other schools, so I don't want to take too much away from him. Really, Michigan just didn't work out for him. But there was a lot of scandals going on with his stint over in Arizona, or is it Arizona State? Arizona.
He left West Virginia to go to Michigan.
Yes, but then he ended up in
Arizona.
Yeah,
and he was fired there. So
yeah, some sort of sexual assault or something. Who knows? I don't know. This
I
is
don't want
just
to. I don't
whatever.
want to touch that subject, but yeah,
I don't want to touch it, but
I think the hire by UCF is the way, I guess, sexier of the pick of
it's
this year.
it
So
looks better, and it just seems better. And honestly, uh, I think that of the two schools, West, a lot of people have said this. UCF is sort of like a sleeping giant, kind of like how Arizona State was. They've got, they're the only school in that area down there that is recruiting for the Big 12. So, and they've, it's Florida, that's a huge market down there. So, I mean, hey, our number one receiver is from Florida. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do down there. If they can pull it together, they're going to be a scary team. But obviously these last 2 years in the Big 12, after the massive success they've had in the other in their other what was it, the other conference? I can't remember what other conference they were in prior to the Big 12. It's
Big East.
the Big East. Yeah, they won some. They've won some.
Pat McAfee back in the day, missing some kicks against Pitt in the backyard brawl, dude. Back when USF was ranked like number 2 in the country. Rutgers is doing things at Greg Schiano. Yeah, it was crazy back then.
Yeah, and so I just I want them to be good. I want them to elevate their program. I just don't want them to be better than K-State. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, I don't see how it's going to be better. It just won't be. So moving on. Yep. There's some big news out of K-State. K-State football. 2 of your favorite players.
Literally the 2 of my favorite players on both sides of the ball, dude. Like
we got to start with probably the guy that's going to be drafted higher. DJ Giddens. He declared for the draft after rushing for 3,000 yards and 23 touchdowns in his K-State career this season. 1,343 yards, 7 touchdowns, 21 catches, 258 yards, and another touchdown. So essentially 1,600 total yards this year, 8 total touchdowns. He had a long of 66 on the ground and 53 through the air. Kenny, this is a massive difference for the K-State offense, but you got to wish DJ Luck in NFL, man. He's got the prototypical body for the NFL. I wish him well, and he did some great things for K-State.
Yeah, man. Anytime that you start knocking on the door of the other top 2 running backs, in our school history, you're doing something right. And man, what if he would have came back for his senior year? He would have probably beaten Deuce Vaughn's career stats. I mean, he was already on that trajectory. The dude is just a beast. And I'm sad to see him go. He was one of my favorite players that K-State has had for a while. I mean, I really enjoyed watching him. And since we started doing this thing, I've he's been the guy that I've really keyed in on since the beginning of our podcast. And it's just like, man, what am I gonna do when I don't get to see DJ out there? I mean, it's kind of like a bittersweet thing because you want to see him succeed and you want him to get to that next level. And it's awesome that K-State is molding these players into NFL players. Like, I don't know how many years in a row that we've been able to produce NFL players. And DJ coming into K-State was not very, it was very underwhelming recruiting. He was like, what, a 2 or 3 star? No one even knew about him.
He was a 0 star. 0 stars.
He was a 0 stars. Did not get offers from any other Power 4 program. And look at him now. I mean, he is just absolutely incredible. And, great dude on and off the field. You know what? I hope he gets, gets to play for a team near a large body of water. That's all I'm going to say. because
So
that
we can go
man,
fishing, man. Go fishing.
he's got to go fishing, baby.
Yes, sir. The other big one, do you want to get into it real quick, and then I'll put the graphic up.
Yeah. So my other favorite player was on the other end of the football was Jacob Parrish. And I had, again, this is another player from the start of our podcast I was very invested in. My eyes were on him like from the very beginning, not even last season, but the season before that, in the 2022 the 2022-2023 season. Yeah. I just was like, yo, Jacob Parrish is incredible. He's extremely solid. And I was hoping that he would come back to, again. He was a junior. Both him and DJ were juniors. And I was really hoping that at least Jacob Parrish would come back and pretty much establish and really get the guys around him prepared for the next coming years, like really a passing of the torch. And it seems like VJ Payne is probably going to have to be the one to do that, because Jacob Parrish is headed to the NFL draft. And you know what? A lot of people are going to be maybe complaining about this and say, well, there's no way, he wasn't even that great. I beg to differ. And also, there are people that, they have agents. Every college player nowadays has agents, and they get paid a lot of money to advise these kids where to go. And so they would not recommend Jacob to go to the NFL if they didn't think that he was actually going to place higher or place high enough to be able to get into the league and to get a good spot in the draft. And it turns out right now, there's a lot of teams that need corners. So that's probably the case. If this was a season where the league just had an abundance of corners and they were good in that area, then he probably wouldn't have been, his agent probably would say, hey, just wait a year. But I think the league is in desperate need of cornerbacks, and that's probably why he's off to go in the league. And I'm excited to see what he can do. He's not a very big guy, but man, his technique and his just physical, just overall, just how physical he is, and just his talent, and his determination. And he might not even play cornerback. Who knows? Maybe when he gets to the league, they might put him somewhere else. Who knows? But my hat goes off to him. I appreciate what he's done for both of them. I appreciate what both of them have done for K-State, and they will be missed dearly on this podcast.
Absolutely. And I want to go over the portal stuff now. And then also they have an updated depth chart for the bowl game. We're going to do a whole bowl game preview, I think on Sunday, and then pick all the Big 12 bowl games. Then we will be picking the CFP stuff here shortly for this weekend. Okay, so this is according to Go Powercat. So here are the portal departures: Jordan Dunbar, Cam Salas, Taquan Roberson, Justin Wolf, Donovan Ryman, Daryl Jones, Terry Kirksey, Trey Spivey, Carver Willis, Alex Marenko, Erwin Nash, Dante Thomas, Nikendre Steiger, and Keegan Johnson. To me, obviously the biggest deals there are Trey Spivey and Carver Willis. Both of those guys were going to start, and probably even I'm going to start next year as well, because Carver Willis has one more year because of COVID to come back and start in O-line. He decided to leave. He signed with Washington. I hope he's getting paid handsomely there. Trey Spivey, I don't know where he's going to sign or end up at. I know for a fact not for a fact. I was told there was some playbook issues with him, and that's why he didn't play more. Keegan Johnson, I don't know if injuries were an issue. He never really got going the way that everyone had anticipated. The rest of those guys are really just depth guys. And they're going to start Andrew Lyingame at right tackle. I'm going to pull this up really quickly. This is according to K-State Sports. This is the new depth chart after we just talked about who's going to the NFL and who went into the portal. Jaden Jackson starting at receiver, Garrett Oakley at tight end, no surprise. Easton Kilty is at left tackle, still there. Hadley Panzer, left guard, still there. Center, Sam Heck, still there. Taylor Potier at right guard, still there. But Andrew Lyingame is now the right tackle. Will Swanson at tight end, Avery Johnson still at quarterback. Now Jacob Knuth is the backup. Running back starters are Dylan Edwards and Joe Jackson. I'm excited about that. And then Jace Brown, backed up by Sterling Lockett. And then the other receiver is Dante Cephas. Kenny, what are your thoughts on some of the guys leaving for the portal and then this new depth chart that was released? We'll get into defense here shortly.
I would just agree with everything you said about, the ones that hurt the most, Trey Spivey, and Carver Willis. I would throw Keegan Johnson in there a little bit. I know his I don't know, accolades, whatever you want to call it, his performance for K-State wasn't what we all thought it would have been. Didn't he come from Iowa, right? Wasn't that him?
He did. Yes, he did.
Yeah, we thought that he was a 4-star, if I'm not mistaken, recruit from there. And we thought big things from him. But, yeah, you're right. I don't know if it was injuries or what was going on, but he just never really clicked with him, which is kind of like what could have been kind of player. But he was still a leader, and he still, was second in yards receiving. He wasn't like just a push off, this season, but he did make mistakes. There were times where he couldn't get open, but he was more of a blocker receiver, but yes, Trey Spivey leaving, that kind of stings a little bit. You saw the potential that he had towards the end of the season. He was doing really well. Honestly, the rest of the stuff doesn't really hurt too bad. It seems to be like if you're a talented player and you're stuck behind some starters for a season, it almost seems like kids, they just want to play. They want to play, and so they're gonna, maybe a lot of people have hinted at that a lot of guys are gonna probably go down to maybe like a G5 level or something, play a season there, and then get up, from that point on. Maybe just make their stats look good or whatever. I don't know what the path is for these kids. They're going to do what they think is best for them. And, I just appreciate them being at K-State, good luck to them wherever they go. We'll have to see the future of these guys, but I'm happy that we didn't lose more than that. And correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, but I don't think there's anybody else that can hop in the portal now, if I'm not mistaken. I think
the portal closed yesterday. I think you're right.
Yeah. Has to be like a certain amount of time after your season ends or something like that. So obviously the portal for the teams that are still, playing for a national championship, whenever their season ends, because we're gonna go over some of those games later, but whenever their season ends, those players will enter the portal. You would think, the ones that are backups and they're like, waiting for their season to be done.
Some of them already entered. I think the Penn State quarterback already entered. So
right. Well, yeah. So we'll just have to see what happens with the whole portal thing. I know it's just chaos, and we're not going to get a full grasp of what our team is looking like until like what, February, March, something like that.
We're gonna look at it though. I'm excited to see what Joe Jackson and Dylan Edwards can do in the bowl game, man.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the bowl game, I didn't know if you were wanting me to touch on that.
No, I mean, it doesn't matter. I just wanted to throw that out there because we'll do the bowl game thoughts on Sunday. But
yeah,
I just wanted to throw that out there real quick.
The depth chart, it's interesting to see. I mean, we kind of already knew that Dylan was going to be the running back, but a part of me still thinks that he could play receiver. I still think that he could be utilized in that position. but we'll just trust the coaches and what they have to say and what they're seeing here. I do like Joe Jackson's build a little bit more for running back. I mean, he has a more of a similar build like DJ had, and he runs in a similar way. I mean, he's got differences. He's got some fancier feet and can cut a little bit differently. But I just think if Joe Jackson, develops really well in this offseason, we could be seeing a lot of him next year, and I'm excited. So.
Absolutely. So let's move on to the defense real quick. Not as many people changing out here. Brendan Mott at DN, Damian Eli Leo D-line, Travis Bates and Cody Sepulveda at the other DN spots. Linebackers, that's where K-State shines. Desmond Purnell, Austin Romaine, Austin Moore. And this is Austin Moore's last game.
Yep.
Justice James will now take over the cornerback spot from Jacob Parrish. He can actually come back for one more year as a senior. VJ Payne, probably our best defender outside of Austin Romaine, and Brendan Mott, of course. Jordan Riley is still starter. I don't know why. Marquise Siegel's other safety spot, and then Keenan Garber is still starting on the other side. Kenny, thoughts on the defense?
Yeah, well, at this point, you got to put the guys in that have been playing this whole year. We put a lot of negativity on the Jordan Riley pick and his productivity in this year, but hey, he's been in there. He's taken the most reps out of all of them. So hopefully, hopefully they just give their all here and make it a good game. I think we'll probably be fine on the defense.
In Clanderman, we trust.
In Clanderman, we trust. I gotta stick with my boy Clandy.
Yes, sir. Okay, let's move on. Like we said, we're gonna pick all the Big 12 games on Sunday. Talk about the K-State game, but Kenny, there are some CFP games starting on Friday. Let's go ahead and pick all the college football playoff games for this weekend.
Okay.
Starting off on Friday, just mentioned it. Indiana going to Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish are favored by 7, over under 52.5. We're going to pick the score here. I'm going to go Notre Dame. I don't think Indiana's got a good defense. I'm going to go Notre Dame like 38. Indiana, we'll give it 24.
Oh, I don't know, man. Indiana's offense is pretty good, dude. You're right about their defense, but I think Indiana, I think this could be a shootout, dude. I think this might be a shootout. I'm definitely taking the over on this for sure. If Indiana can stop Notre Dame's run game, then I think Indiana wins, which is crazy for me to even say. But Notre Dame did lose to a bad team this year that people just seem to forget all the time. So I'm actually gonna take Indiana. I want to see them beat the Irish. We're calling the upset. This is kind of like their miracle season. So I want to see, anytime you see a team also, wreck a team like Notre Dame, like a blue blood like that, you want to root for them. So Indiana, I'm going for the underdogs. Let's go Indiana 45, Notre Dame 38.
Ooh, wow. Touchdown the other way. I dig it. Well, I'm excited to watch this tomorrow night. Actually, I don't know if I'll be able to watch most of it because I'll be working. Moving on. Interesting game here, 11 a.m. on TNT or the Max app. What? Penn State hosting SMU. Penn State favored by 8.5, over under 53.5. Kenny, I don't know what to pick here. Penn State really hasn't beaten anyone good. They played pretty well against Oregon, at least on offense. SMU won a bunch of games in a row, lost on the front end and that back end. I don't know, man. What do you got here?
Dude, I'm actually happy that it's on Max because I actually have a Max account. So I don't have cable anymore. So it's going to be really hard for me to watch these games.
Same, dude. The exact same. Same for me.
I'm so sad. I wish I didn't lose it. but it's just too expensive. I'm gonna go again. I'm going the underdogs. SMU. Look, dude, I say what you want, man, but they barely lost to Clemson in a field goal in their conference championship game as time expired. They they were behind early, but they came back and they really were that close. I just think they're that team that's got a chip on their shoulder, man, and they're going to play like they have a chip on their shoulder. Penn State is kind of lackluster, dude. I haven't really been impressed with them. They did play well. I'll give them that in their last game that they played against Oregon. They played well. I'll give them that. But I don't know. That might have been their Super Bowl. I think SMU might shock the world here and beat Penn State. I'm going to go SMU 28, Penn State 23.
I dig it. I'm going SMU on the spread, but I'm not going SMU on who actually wins the game. So I think this is going to be a lower scoring game. 26 degrees. Ouch. Those Texas boys are not going to like that. They're not.
Oh, come on.
I don't think Penn State's. I think their offense played as well as it could in a dome last week. I don't think their offense is going to play that well this week. I think SMU's pretty good. I'm going to pick Penn State to win. Let's go 24-20.
All right.
Moving on. Another game on TMNT and Max. What the heck, dude? Clemson traveling to Texas. Clemson just won the ACC. They beat SMU. Texas. They beat Texas A&M, but outside of that, who did they really beat? Michigan, who's 6-6, 7-5. They didn't really beat anyone. Now they should have beaten Georgia. They should have beaten Georgia, but they didn't. Twice they did not. So I don't know what to pick here quite yet. Kenny, what's your score here?
I gotta go Texas, man. They're playing in DKR. Dude, that is a very, very tough, and they're in the playoff. Dude, this team, it's just gonna be insane in Austin. It's gonna be wild there, dude. So yeah, I'm going Texas here. I don't even think it's gonna be close. I think Texas is gonna just dominate. Now, I could be shocked. But I'll be fine because the winner of this game plays against Arizona State. But I just think Texas is just a better team overall. I think they got the dudes. Their players are out of this world, dude. They've got and honestly, I think it really boils down to if they're going to play Arch Manning or not. I hope they do because I think that's a wasted that is a wasted talent if you don't put him in the game. So. Yeah, I'm going to go Texas. We'll go Texas 35, Clemson 21.
I like that score. I really do. I also think Texas is going to win, but I think it's going to be closer than that. I think Texas is good, not great. I think that Arizona State's going to give them all they want and more the next week. And I think it's a Peach Bowl. Yeah. I got Texas winning this game 35 as well to 28. 35-28. Going to be a close game. Maybe Clemson scores late to make it a one touchdown game. I don't know. I think Texas is going to win, just not cover the spread.
All right.
Last game of the week. Tennessee traveling to Ohio State. Our boy Will Howard, has been playing in this game at home.
Night game,
7 o'clock on ABC, ESPN. A lot of people are picking Tennessee, man. A lot of people are picking Tennessee.
Come on, Will Howard. Let's go. Will Howard, let's go.
Let's go. Is that who you're picking? Is that who
yeah, dude. Come on, man. Will Howard. Dude, okay. Ohio State spent $20 million on this freaking team, dude. So and I don't want to say that, you pay to win. I hate the idea that could be a thing. But let's just say, like, Ohio State has always been that program that is, the thorn in the SEC's side for years, and I just think that Ohio State, even though they lost to Michigan, yes, and they barely lost to Oregon. Those are their 2 losses. Ohio State is going to want this win, dude. Like, especially since the last time they were in their home turf, they lost to Michigan, their biggest rivals ever. Dude, I think they're going to be up for this game. I think it's going to be huge, dude. It's going to be loud. It's going to be popping off, dude. And I just think Ohio State's that team. I think what do they have, like the 4th or 5th best odds to win the whole thing. So I mean, you gotta give it to him, man. You gotta give it to him. And it's our boy Will Howard. Our boy Will Howard's there, man. And it would have been cool to have K-State also be in the playoff, because it would be like Will Howard's old team and his new team were in there, but didn't happen for K-State. Didn't happen. I'm going to be rooting for the Devils. But I'm also going to be rooting for my boy Will Howard. The man that got us that Big 12 championship. He's always bleeding purple. So I'm going to go. Okay, my score prediction. I'll go. Tennessee's defense is tough. We'll go 24-21. How about that?
You talked me into it, Kenny. I was going to pick Tennessee. I was, because I think their O-line and D-line is pretty good. But let's not forget that Tennessee lost to Arkansas. And who did Arkansas lose to, Kenny? Oklahoma freaking State. Oklahoma freaking State. And that's one of the teams that Tennessee lost to. Now, Ohio State, they lost to Oregon and Michigan. Michigan is not what they were a year ago, but they had trouble with that O-line and D-line from Michigan. They did. They couldn't stop the run, and they could not run the ball. That was a big deal.
I think that was it was a trap game from hell. It was.
I agree. There was a lot of crazy things that happened in that game, but they got outplayed from the beginning to end. They did. And that was Will Howard's worst game. Now, I want to talk some positive about Will Howard. He came to K-State. Let's be honest, the fans did not like him for a while. It took him a long time to start actually playing good. But he ended up winning a Big 12 championship for K-State, the first in 10 years. Comes back next year and breaks like almost every single season record at K-State, passing, touchdowns, and all of that. He's a great quarterback. He's going to go to the NFL and do great things. I want to see him succeed. I love that he's getting a chance to play in the CFPs this year. I mean, think about it. Will Howard, Big 12 champion and college football playoff participant. Man, got to feel happy for him. I also think it's going to be a really close game. Ohio State is favored by 7.5. I'm going to go Ohio State 27, Tennessee. We'll go like 22, something weird like that. Something weird like that, because I think Josh Heupel is going to do something stupid like go for 2 or something. Then we're going to get a rematch. We're going to get a rematch. Will Howard versus Kobe Savage, part 2 in the Rose Bowl in 10 days after that.
I can't wait.
That is the college football playoff opening round picks.
Now we get to move into a subject that you and I really don't want to talk about.
I don't want to.
We're going to be talking K-State basketball. Oh, and just so you know, for all the viewers out there, I know that our channel is named KSU Nation. You would be mistaken if you thought that meant K-State University Nation. It's actually Kenny and Steve United Nation.
That's right.
That's
Kansas State University.
We just happen to be K-State fans, and it worked out this way. But it is the Kenny and Steve United Nation.
That's right.
Okay? But yes, we're talking K-State basketball, and this is going to be really brief because honestly, Steve, I don't think that this team deserves any any time in talking about this team. They are a mess. I am going to be shocked if they even get 5 wins in the conference. I will be shocked.
Over under 12 total wins for the season.
I'm taking under.
Right now they're at 6.
I'm
They're
taking
going to
the
play
under.
Wichita State on Saturday, and they better freaking win because Wichita State just lost to UMKC.
Yeah, and it's actually how many years have we won in a row? It's like 20 something years.
I mean, we didn't play them for a long time, but they have not beaten K-State in 20 plus years. You're right.
It's frustrating, Steve. Jerome Tang and his crew went with the strategy of going to the portal, getting a whole bunch of guys from all over the country that played in big time programs, decided to cash out in their last year, their whatever, junior year, senior year, whatever. And it has just not worked out whatsoever. The fans are pissed off. The entire program is in shambles. I hate watching this team. I just hate it.
It pisses me off, dude. It makes me not want to watch. It makes me want to do anything other than watch K-State basketball. And I mean, K-State lost at the buzzer the other night. Here's the box score. They let 2 white dudes from Drake go off for 25 and 22. They only played 7 players, and they beat K-State. And then we got Jerome Tang calling out the fans after the game.
Yeah, I don't.
Fans, dude. Which, by the way, Coleman Hawkins was also calling out the fans. The people that he was calling out are not K-State fans. They are gamblers who are upset that they did not cover. I just want to throw that out there.
Dude, this is just inexcusable.
It's frustrating.
Also, I don't understand how, like, their team, like you said, 7 players. They had several of those players on the court for the entire 45 minutes.
Yeah, there's 2 of them. 3 of them. 3 of them played the entire game.
We didn't have a single player play the entire game.
And honestly,
what is that strategy? Like, is that really winning? Like,
dude,
is that really the strategy? Like, I get it. You want to have fresh legs on the court all the time. But if you are constantly getting pulled off the court, you're never going to get into a rhythm. You're never going to get into a rhythm. And these guys, once they were in their rhythm, they just stayed in that rhythm. And dude, they were 25 points, 22 points. Dude, it's like they both were in there for 45 minutes.
They let a guy hit 8 threes against him, and then they let the other guy hit the game-winning 3. It's frustrating, man. It really is. And this has been something that's been frustrating K-State fans for the last 2 seasons. I mean, he said, expect to win. And K-State has. They ponied up the money. He said he wanted everyone to donate to the NIL. He got that money, and the team has been terrible. The offense has been horrendous. The rebounding has been terrible. I mean, I don't get it all, dude, and it's completely frustrating. And then he goes off and says, well, maybe these players are they're making so much money now, they're having anxiety. Now they're feeling the pressure. Well, they should feel the pressure. They should feel the pressure. The highest paid player on the team, Coleman Hawkins, is making $2 million or more this year. You know how long it would take the average Kansan to make $2 million, Kenny?
I have no idea. Like several decades.
With inflation, 27 years. So I don't want to hear anything about a guy feeling pressure and anxiety when he's making $2 million. I don't want to hear that. All I want to see are wins, and it's not happening, and it's pissing me off. It's really pissing me off, especially the guy that's making $2 million went 3 for 8 from the free throw line, including missing a bunch in overtime. That is awful. That cannot happen, dude.
Oh my God. It's just sad, man. Like, I don't understand this strategy. The way that this offense is designed doesn't make sense to me. It feels really just like there's no continuity at all with this team whatsoever. It seems like we're subbing out for no reason at all. When I watch this team, it's just we're constantly subbing. And I get it, like the whole fresh legs idea. I get it. Or if if somebody's not, listening, or it's like frustrating on the court for them, or whatever the case is, they got to come out. Fine, injury, fine, I get that. But it feels like we're just like throwing these guys in and out like constantly, and I don't get it, man. I'm just with every
I'm
other
over the season
K-State
already.
fan.
I'm over the season already, dude. And it's
Yeah,
sad to say,
yeah,
but I want to say something really quickly. I don't know what Drake's NIL budget is. I would imagine it's probably $1 million total divided by the whole team. I'm imagining these two guys make the most. I mean, their entire team probably makes half of what Coleman Hawkins makes. And K-State lost to them. K-State also lost to Liberty. I would imagine probably some of those guys make nothing in their starters.
yeah.
And those are teams. Those are guys who want to win. They want to win at the highest level. And K-State has just a bunch of guys that are just there to get paid.
Yeah, I think that, it's been said before that the guys that were on the Drake team, they've been there for several years. They've developed the chemistry and the coordination between the players. I mean, they were playing like they've been playing for years. And that's kind of what we had when we had Marquise Noel and Keontae Johnson, Ish Masood, and Desi Sills. Like we had those guys that look like they played with each other for years. And this team looks like a bunch of dudes that just are out there for themselves. There's no coordination. There's no cohesiveness. It is just a mess. And I don't get it, man. I don't get it. This is not a player problem. This is 100% a coaching problem at this point.
This
100%.
is Drake. This is a team. Like you said, these are guys who've been playing together for a while. They know their roles. And with K-State, right now they have 0 high school commits. They're just building it through the portal, which would be fine if you're winning. But when you don't have a core group of guys there every single year, that you know who the starters are, you know who the leaders are, you're going to have issues.
You know what?
I'm having a lot of issues.
I'm kind of over this whole like let the players figure out who the leader is. No, dude, you get the coach in there. Say you're the leader. If you don't like it, you can sit on the bench. Like the coach at this point needs to just establish the damn game plan, and everybody just needs to buy into it. The problem is that if it is the game plan, no one's buying into it, then you need to get them off the court, put somebody in that wants to buy into it. Start blue shirting these people. Like, I know there's not a lot of money to go around anymore, but you got to start getting some walk-ons or something. Somebody that wants to play basketball, get them in the damn gym, because it doesn't seem like these guys care at all. Doesn't seem like they care.
I mean, I saw effort there in the second half. I mean, really, even with 5 minutes left in the first half, but you cannot get down 29-9, 15 minutes into the game and expect to win. I mean, that is coming out completely flat. And that's after getting their butts handled 10 days before that at St. John's. That cannot happen, dude. I mean, and that's on Jerome Tang, like you said, not having his guys ready to go. K-State has not played a full game yet this year. Not once. Not once. I mean,
how many is that 2 losses in a row or 3 losses in a row?
2 in a row, 4 so far this season. K-State's off to its worst start since the COVID year.
That's
K-State's staring down the barrel of missing the tournament for the 5th time in the last 6 years.
All right. Yep. And with that, there's nothing more to say. I mean, horrible. It's just gonna make us more angry. I can't. I agree with Kenny. These guys are men. They want to be treated like pros with all this NIL money ? Then they need to be able to adjust like pros. Listen,
I agree.
Here is how you motivate somebody who is in it for the money. Tell them, if you want to continue to see money in your bank account for playing basketball, then you better kick it into high gear, because college isn't there forever. College is a stepping stone to getting into the pros. And if you're playing like this, there's not going to be many pro teams that want you. They're going to look at you and be like, oh my gosh, we need to overlook this guy because, man, that is abysmal. So, yeah, if you want to continue to see those checks coming in, maybe you should start playing like you actually care. And I also heard this was like a rumor. It's been a while since we talked to you guys, but there was a rumor that Coleman Hawkins like threw on all of his Illinois stuff and went to go see them play. What was it, in Kansas City or
No, he
something?
did. That's not a rumor. That happened. He 100% put on his stuff and went there, which is fine. I'm totally fine if the guys
Yeah.
from his former team. Like, I would love it if Will Howard did that. And I know Adrian Martinez did that after he left K-State.
Yeah. I'm not saying that you can't
It's not a
support
great
your old.
look for K-State, though. It's not a great look when he's still on the team.
Yeah, it's like you're in the middle of the preseason of basketball and you're going out of your way to it would be one thing if we were winning every single game and he did that, but it just doesn't seem like his focus is there and he's doing that stuff on the side. It's like, look, it's cool to root for your old school. I mean, you spent a long time there, so I totally get it and there's nothing wrong with it, but it just makes everybody look at you with a little bit of a squinty eye. And it's like, come on, man, we want you to buy into our school. We want you to be happy to play for K-State, and we want you to act like you're excited to be playing for K-State. And when you do things like that, it just makes me like not believe that you care. And that's been the question mark over the people that show up because of the money. What does it say here? Coleman better show up to K-State games in the future when his time's done. I doubt it.
I mean, freaking Keontae Johnson did multiple times.
Well, yeah, but Keontae Johnson was in a position where no school wanted him, and K-State wanted him and took a chance on him. And so if I was a guy like Keontae Johnson, like, hey, nobody wants to take a chance on me except for this random school in the Big 12, K-State, and then we end up going to the Elite Eight. Yeah, I'm going to rep K-State every single chance I can. Like, they're the school that believed in me when no one else did. Like, of course, that's like loyalty there. Yeah. Anyway, let's just.
I want to say one more thing on this, and then we can get out of here. I think the biggest issue with the NIL stuff right now, specifically for K-State, I mean, when you're in the NFL and NBA and they're paying you a lot of money, they can still trade you. They can still cut you, right? So in the NBA and NFL, you're still earning your paycheck. These guys, I'm not saying it's like this every game because I saw a lot of really good effort in the second half, but I've not seen that every game this season. I have not. These guys know no matter what, as long as they just stay on a team, it doesn't matter if they sit the bench or not, they're still going to get paid, right? Whereas the NFL, there's incentives, right? NBA, there's incentives. And they know, like I said, that they can get cut or traded at any time. You can't trade a guy in college. You can't cut him in college. I mean, I guess you can with a chore, and that's a whole other thing. I don't even know what's going on there. But still, I mean, it's completely different. And I get what he said about these guys feeling pressure. But like I said, I'm glad they feel pressure. They should feel pressure. I mean, when he's making $2 million, I said it earlier, it takes the average cans in 27 years to make that. You should feel pressure. You should be winning games. 6-4 is not good enough, man. Yeah. And his seat is getting warmer by the moment. He better start winning. And if he doesn't win this year, he's got next year. And if he doesn't win next year, I could see K-State firing him. I don't care what the buyout is. K-State would fire him if he doesn't go to the tournament 3 straight years.
It's seriously like, I feel like K-State was a little bit hoodwinked. We were bamboozled.
Fleeced.
Yeah. And it's making us all feel really bitter.
Everyone's just mad right now. Everyone wants K-State to win. I know the players and the coaches do too. I get it. But the fans are the ones who pay your salary. So you better start doing better than you're doing.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Steve. I think Bram is gonna be pretty empty this season.
Oh yeah. I mean, 100%. I mean, they'd rather watch it from home than go and support the team in person when they're just going to keep losing. Why would you drive? Let's say you live in Speaker, Kansas City. Why would you drive an hour or two knowing you're going to lose, right?
Yep, I agree. It's it's a tough subject, and we hate to be Debbie Downers about it, but this is the life we chose.
Yep. Well, Kenny, I don't have anything else to talk about. Is there anything you want to talk about real quick before we get out of here?
Not really. I'm excited for the bowl games. I'm excited for Arizona State representing the Big 12.
Let's go.
In the CFP, of course.
Oh, yes, 100%. I've seen it like 20 to 30 times already. I'm a DC fan. I'm so excited. I thought the Superman trailer looked amazing.
Yes, please go check out Burke Family 54 Comics for Steve's breakdown of the preview of the new Superman movie. Yeah, I'm kind of stoked about it. It looked really cool.
It did.
Yeah, your insight in
that's what the Ray Bowl used to be called. It used to be called the Copper Bowl, then the Insight Bowl, and then the Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl, and then the Cactus Bowl, and then the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, and now it's a Rate Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I mean,
I'm excited that look,
absolutely.
I said this last video. I said anytime the Cats get to play, I'm going to be up for it. So let's go, and
agreed.
It's going to be interesting in the next couple of weeks. We're going to have this, we're going to have the upcoming games to talk about, but we're going to be doing our best to try to put out content after the new year.
And after tomorrow, I have 2 weeks off, so we'll have time to put together some content for the channel.
I still have to work.
Oh, well, that sucks.
Because I have a real job.
1 day off next week?
What?
You get just 1 day off next week?
I get Christmas off, yes.
My gosh, dude, that's bull crap.
Listen.
But hey, the new year starts, and then you can use your 2 weeks right away if you want.
That's not how that works. But yes, because that's just not how it works. We'll talk about it off air. But yes, what's Stevie's comic page? He's putting it in the chat right now. It's Burke Family 54 Comics.
I put up a couple shorts today. I haven't had a chance to shoot a video yet on it, but man, I'm excited.
Yes, please go subscribe to this YouTube channel. And
there's a link in the description of every one of our videos as well.
That's correct. I'm not sure which. I think you put my YouTube page up there.
Your music one.
For my music account. If you are interested in listening to music, go check that out as well. Matter of fact, I just got out of the studio last weekend recording a new song. So kind of excited about it. But yes, Steve, I really don't have anything else to talk about. I'm excited for this weekend, mainly because I'm going to get some good sleep and a break from work. And you're going to be off work for the next 2 weeks, so that's going to be nice. I don't know, Steve. What do you say we give them the old go Cats?
All right. Well, let me get this video ready. Okay, now I'm ready. All right, ready? And go.
What do you say we give them the old go Cats?
Go Cats, baby.
Down in